Hey guys, Wolfie here with a video log slash special presentation for Dissidio Final Fantasy Opera Omnia Global for the 21st of June 2020 if you're in or near the United States. This will be the 22nd of June everywhere else. For this particular video log slash special presentation, so the first half is going to be a bit of a video log. I am going to be addressing some stuff I've been reading on Facebook in recent days. I'm going to have some swearing in it in this section, but I'm going to do my best to keep it at a minimal. So you can probably tell there's a bit of a rant coming there. Now the second half is going to be a predictions video for the stream that's coming up on the afternoon of the 22nd. So that's going to be just strictly predictions. And that's not going to be so much of the order, but what I feel is going to come, and it's outside the obvious main story, character event / chapter, so stuff like that. So with stuff like this is going to be my opinion only. I more than likely will not leave a description for the Dissidia database website in the description below. I will be talking about it. I will be talking about the Tomberry Troop infographic about a particular character. Those two are going to be referred to in the video log section. So, with that bit out of the way, I'll see you guys in the home screen, but I won't be pausing it, so enjoy these slides. Now, before I get into the meat of the video, I do want to warn everybody, I might be having a fan going on in the background, so you might be hearing it. I do apologize. There might be some fireworks going off in the background as well, so I do apologize if the fireworks show up in the video in the background audio-wise, so, but yeah, you might be hearing the fan. It is kind of hot in the apartment, so that's it on that. I do apologize, so there. So, regarding a bit of a rant, so the reason why it is a rant, this is the video log section of the video. It is going to come down with the newest character on the global end, which is Kais from Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. And the reason why it's not about Kais, but I have seen on Facebook some comments that is making me start to really question the Facebook faction of the community. And the questions are not good. Because what I've read on Facebook regarding Kais, it's either replies to somebody or whatever. I'm pretty damn pissed off. Because I've read some comments that are along the lines of, you're a fool if you skip. You'll regret yourself if you're skipping him just because you never played Crystal Chronicles. Meta is the only favorite, that sort of thing. I was pretty damn pissed. Now, I noticed a few other comments in the thread regarding, the whole thing with Kais. Fortunately, the other comments in retaliation to the three that I've mentioned were all mentioning that people should be allowed to play the game that way they want. If they want to skip, let them skip. We should be having fun playing with our favorites. And I do feel that the Facebook faction of the default global community is getting to be quite toxic. I mean, there was a review on the US version of Google Play. I think it was the 28th of April where the review, and it's kind of it was like this, I think it was a 2-star review. I do have to double check that. I do know it's a US version of Google Play here, and I have an Android, so that's how I know this information. And it's from around the 28th of April. The review was at 2 stars for the game, and part of the review mentioned something along the lines of the community being juvenile and toxic. Now, this particular snippet of the review, oddly enough, backs up a comment I've noticed on the very tail end of a Twitch stream from back in late February. With this particular Twitch stream, previewed the March calendar, and the comment I noticed was like disagreeing with somebody, about being excellent, because because the person was like, hey, thank you for including me, and the other person enjoyed the comment spirit. However, they did bring up the community being toxic. So I do feel that the Google Play review kind of backs that statement up. And for me, now the whole thing with Kais, I think this is starting to show itself that yes, parts of the DFFOO global community is getting quite toxic. And I have to be completely honest here and say that we need to change, and now. Because if we don't change, the growth we have is going to slow down even further. This is a bad time to get toxic. This is not only because of the ongoing pandemic, but you're also talking about an ongoing issue with some of the Android devices being unable to play the game due to a compatibility issue. So, and I think it's time for the global developers to finally address this. All the content creators needs to address this. Because the longer we hold off on addressing it, the worse things will be. And this is starting to become unacceptable, in my opinion. So the whole thing with units like Kais, this is starting to get out of hand, in my personal opinion. Now the thing is with Kais and myself personally, I am going the token route with him because I saw what he does, with the videos, where they preview their kit, what they can do. I was already turned off, and I'm not a meta person per se, but I won't deny what good he brings to the table. And I've noticed people mentioning about FEOD 20, which is the final tier for there on JP, that 2/3 of some people's parties involved Lightning and Warrior alike. So the thing is with meta is that they're good at what they do. They have some holes to keep in mind, and they cannot be used in every situation. So for those who say meta's the only way, that's fucking bullshit. The last thing you should be doing is to shove meta down everybody else's throat. Because if everybody were to only go after the meta characters, this game will get fucking boring and fast as well as predictable. You do not want to be contributing to a reason why this game could go under if people were to go the same way every single time. It's fucking bullshit, and it's unacceptable. We should be allowed to play the game how we want it, and our own pace, without judgment. And for those of you who feel that meta's the only way to go, you should be ashamed of yourselves. And the reason why I strongly feel this way is because I've had an experience not too long ago on Facebook where I've had quote-unquote meta shoved down my throat. It was two individuals. I'm not going to name them because that's not how I roll. They were suggesting that I pull on a particular banner. Oddly enough, the banner was close to another banner, and although the other banner was a meta character, it turns out to be a meta character that's a favorite of mine. Now, this is a bit of a story time, but it is extremely relevant, and it does kind of relate to Kais. So, the two characters I'm going to be talking about are Cryle and Ultimecia. Now, we do know that during Ultimate Leviathan, Cryle got her first rework, and yes, you heard me right on this one, folks. I said first rework, and it's because Cryle will be getting a second rework in the future for Global. And the second rework comes with her LD weapon and her 8080 Awakening. So it involves Cryle, who I don't like, and Ultimecia, who I do like. So I remember mentioning on Facebook, and Facebook, for me, by the way, it's a fake name, pseudonym, fake information, at FYI. So I remember saying something along the lines, if it weren't for Ultimecia being so close, I'd probably be going after her, which was the case because Cryle and Ultimecia were in fact close together. And I want to make sure I have enough resources available. Now, the first reply caught me off guard. The first reply assumed, and incorrectly assumed to be more specific, that I was a meta slave. Now, for those of you who know me well enough, I am as anti-meta as they come. If the character I pull on is meta, it's only because I like the character. I did a little research and this one's worth some stuff for me, or if it's somebody I've already liked before they got introduced. So the person number one assumed, and it's wrongly assumed to be more exact, like meta slave detected, pull. You don't know if she's going to come back. She may never come back. You won't, or something along the lines, you probably won't ever get another chance. So that was reply number one. So there was another reply that came along to that. They actually came to my defense because they knew me. They knew how I go about things with banners. So I'm going to exclude person number two because person number two on Facebook came to my defense. Now person number three was like, "Oh, I encourage you to pull. I got 150 tickets. They could happen to you too." Here is the problem with that type of comment. RNG and luck does not, and I repeat, does not favor everybody at the same time. Just because you got it in 50 tickets doesn't mean it'll happen to me. The unit where we're talking about the resources actually used, we're not talking about the free multis, but actual resources used, Setzer's the only character whose EX I got in less than 10 tickets. Setzer was 5 tickets. No other unit I've gotten their EX in less than that. Because after Setzer for 5 tickets, it's Ramza with 10, Hope with 11, Edgar with 12, Yestola with 26. So those are the 5 units where I didn't have to use many of my tickets at all to get their EX. I will say though that Warrior Light, Kafka, Ignis, Gobez, and Selfie, I got those on a free multi. So anybody who encourages the whole thing with tickets, you have to understand that the ticket rates differ than the multiples. And the RNG and luck for one will not be the same for the next. And it also applies in different banners as well. So, and like person number one, person number three, didn't even bother to ask me about the power stones that I had. I actually had less than 12. So, had I pulled on Cryo, like one of them I know one of them did, I would have had gone after copies, depleting my resources. Meaning that I probably would have skipped out on Ultimisia. And Ultimisia, again, is somebody I like. So, that's the Cryo story in Ultimisia. Now, another story, and this kind of involves person number 3 from the Cryo Ultimisia story, right around Rosa and Emperor. Now, person number 3 from the Cryo Ultimisia story assumed that I was going to go after Emperor's gear. Now, I have to make a confession here. Now, I went after Rosa's stuff because I like 4 and 6. 4 and 6 being my all-time favorite Final Fantasy games at the time. So I managed to get Rosa and Sabin's EX on tickets. Now, regarding Emperor Furion, that one was on the fence because, I just didn't want to risk my RNG and luck. Because I knew that at any point, it could go bad once again. Now, the thing is, with my birthday, it's in late January, so for me, my birthday character actually was the Emperor from Final Fantasy II. So, I remember posting something, it was around the time Rosa's Lost Chapter showed up. I do have Rosa's EX weapon purple since, so I did get her and Sabin on tickets. So person number 3 from the Cryo Ultimisia story was like, good luck on Emperor. I'm like, and my first reaction was, did you just assume I'm going to pull on Emperor? I'm to this day, I'm at a loss for words with that. And I had to reply, the one thing you should really not do is assume I'm going to pull on things. And that's where one of the biggest problems I've seen with the Facebook faction of the DFFOO global community is that I've seen a lot of assumptions going around and not enough asking. So, the end of that particular story, let me pause this. Sorry about that, folks. My screen went black, so I had to do a quick pause. So, anyway, regarding the whole thing with Emperor, I did pull on that banner. I was under a decent amount of pressure from person number 3 from the Cryo Ultimisia story. So, yeah, I mean, I do use Emperor here and there, but not really. And the only reason why I did wind up pulling on Emperor was I was under some pressure from person number 3 in the Cryo Ultimisia story. So, I was planning on skipping it, to get some resources together, but yeah. So there's the whole thing with with the Facebook faction of the DFFOO global community. It's getting extremely toxic, and the whole thing with Kais, this is showing the exact proof from the Google Play review and that the Twitch comment that the community is getting toxic. We need to change things and fucking fast. So that is that on that. And I'm going to pause this video so we can get to the home screen, and I'm just going to change things up with the prediction side, so I'll be right back. I am back, so like I said, I do have a fan going on in the background, so I actually have to talk a little bit louder than usual, so that way you guys can hear me and not so much the fan. So with that out of the way, we're going to go into the prediction side, and the predictions are going to be for the upcoming Twitch stream, which will reveal the remaining parts of the June calendar alongside the July calendar. Now, I'm hoping that this stream is a lot longer than usual because you're talking about aspects of the June calendar which were not initially revealed. So, my predictions here are that we're going to be hearing more of character enhancement boards, and by that, the ones that come up besides the new characters. Meaning that units like Lena, Safer, Prompto, Freya, Alphino, and maybe Yida. Those are probably going to be the ones who gets their character enhancement boards. And the reason why I say it like that, I was going to say alongside, but I'm like, I better not get into the other parts of the predictions just yet. So, I do feel that at least 5 of them are going to get their character enhancement boards because, hey, they're part of they had a pretty significant contribution to the June calendar in the format of a rework and or EX realization. So, I do feel that at least 5 of the 6, meaning that Safer, Lena, Prompto, Freya, Alphino, and Yida, those are probably going to be the ones eligible for a character enhancement board. Now, the reason why I left out King is that I don't know, I have to double check when he gets his character enhancement board. I do know that Celeste gets hers with her 80/80 awakening, and fortunately for Celeste, she gets her 80/80 awakening kind of early. She's in the second wave. And Celeste is my waifu, so there. So with that all out of the way, so Celeste won't be getting her character enhancement boards until her 80/80 awakening. I have to double check the information for King. Now with I want to say, I know with regarding the Kais and RCL, I do have to double check Prish and Sedan. Well, actually, Sedan got his, but I have to double check information on Prish. Yahoo! So that's it on that. So that's the whole thing on character enhancement boards. I do feel that at least 5 of the 6 from the June calendar alongside certain characters from the 5 out of 6 from the June calendar alongside Krish could be getting their character enhancement boards. So, outside of that, I'm not so sure if we're going to be getting a summer festival, which is kind of known for the game. But if we don't, I won't be surprised if we have to exercise further resource management. Even if, in the July calendar, it is confirmed that Ultimate Alexander is coming. Now, the reason why I bring up Ultimate Alexander is that it's the next Esper trial. This features a rework and EX debut for Raijin from Final Fantasy VIII and Saz from Final Fantasy XIII. So these two get a pretty sweet rework. EX weapon debut, and Saz is probably going to be the more desirable one because he's a support unit, a support unit in his own right. Now with Raijin, I do personally feel that he is a bit more skippable because he's among the first to get his 80-80 awakening. If that is any indication. So, that, I do feel some information on Ultimate Alexander is coming. Now, I am on the fence with the free multiples for the remainder of June and July, is because for most of June, we don't have any free multis, so for those of you who spent way too many resources, this is going to be a good time to build them back up. So, outside of all of that, the question mark on the free multis, question mark on the Summer Festival, the whole thing with Ultimate Alexander. There's a few other things that are probably going to be coming along pretty soon. One of them is Act 2, Chapter 9, which is Cloud of Darkness, her global debut. This features a rework for Kefka, and his EX gets its realization. The thing is with Kefka, he might be a bit of a skippable one because he's one of the first to get his burst MLD. So if you skip out on Kefka during Act 2, Chapter 9, you don't have to fret about it because his kit comes back fairly soon, and when it comes back, he does get his LD and his burst, plus his alternate costume. So that stuff right there, the alternate costume, the LD and burst, that does come back fairly soon for Kefka. So you don't have to fret about it too much if you miss out when Cloud of Darkness shows up. So that's it on that. Elden Ring for Final Fantasy XI makes its global debut probably the first half of July. This features a rework for Garnet, so that's going to be a sought-after banner. Now, another sought-after banner is surprisingly Aphmo's Lost Chapter banner, because this will feature the debut of Aphmo's EX weapon alongside the EX realization for Lion. And I will be going into that banner because I missed out on Lion's EX the first time around, and I'm not going to make that same mistake twice. Let's just put it like that. And with that bit out of the way, we also have the second half is Charlotta's Lost Chapter. Now, Rydia gets a rework in that Lost Chapter, but Charlotta does not. Charlotta also gets her EX realized alongside Rydia's. And with that, you also have the global debut of Trey from Final Fantasy Type 0. This features Quistis' rework, and that's all I'm going to say. Because the thing is, Spotlight's going to be more so on Trey than it is going to be Quistis. Although I do want to point out that with Quistis' rework, she does get her EX realized. So, with that bit out of the way, another thing I feel it's going to be coming up in the stream is Cater's rework. Now, this is going to be the unit that a lot of people are going to be sleeping on, even after it shows up. The reason why I feel she's going to be a bit of a sleeper is because her rework makes her an excellent character. That's all I'm going to say, because it's it's like she's been known for some type of meme, but with the rework, it's like, yeah. Her rework, yeah, so it's just like, I do feel that she is one of those you should look into, but not too much. So, with that all out of the way, like I said, the whole thing, I am putting a question mark on the following. The free multis and the Summerfest. The reason why I'm putting question marks on those two is that with the free multis, we didn't have any for most of June, so if we do not have any for July, we actually had to really had to exercise some resource management. And with the Summer Festival, this could be something that global brings and sets a tradition, if that makes any sense. So, with that bit, now, those are two other question marks. Question mark for the Summer Festival, question mark for the free multis. Now, the stuff I'm going to mention are definites. They're going to they're more than likely, I would say I would not say definitely, but more than likely. So, the more than likely is going to be Cater's rework, Ultimate Alexander. Cloud of Darkness is a must. Aphmo Lost Chapter is a must. Charlotta Lost Chapter is a must. Aldenark character event, that's a must. Trey event, that's going to be the must. Those are going to be the 5 musts right there. Cloud of Darkness, the Lost Chapters for Aphmo and Charlotta, alongside character events for Aldenark and Trey. Now with the character enhancement boards for July, I think it's going to be the characters that show up at that time, meaning that Raijin, Saz, more than likely will be getting theirs because they have reworks. Excuse me, that was a little apology right there just now. So, yeah, so for character enhancement boards for July, Raijin, Saz via their reworks and EX debuts in Ultimate Alexander, Rydia and Charlotta via Charlotta's Lost Chapter, Aphmo and Lion via Aphmo's Lost Chapter, Trey and Quistis via the Trey character event, Aldenark and Garnet via the Aldenark event. I will say that it's going to be just Cloud of Darkness when she makes her debut, because I don't think they're going to bring in Kefka's just yet. So with that, like I said, I just do want to end the prediction side of it on a much more positive note outside the rants, because the rant, I've been thinking about saying what I said for a while, and I had to get that out of my chest. So I do hope that the stream is a lot longer than anticipated, because honestly, I felt that the streams, even with the pandemic going on, it's just like, I don't know if they're half-assing it. But my message to the Facebook faction of the DFFOO global community is going to be a simple one. We have to change things, and fast. The whole thing with the Kais event, this is bringing out the ugliness of the community. And that is just heartbreaking to see. But I'll leave it at that. With Wolvie here signing off, I will catch you all on the flip side.